Okay na ba yung hair? Kasi
Yeah,
I can't really do anything about this hair.
It's still cute. I hope you can see.
I can see naman.
Okay, I'm gonna
my
start.
video is up, so the light is just, nagbago-bago yung light. But it's okay.
Sige.
I'm good anytime.
Okay. One. Hello and welcome to my yet another talk show in these challenging quarantines. But I've decided to finally bite the bullet thanks to all my friends who somehow believe in me and believe that I should do something like this. They've been pushing and pushing and pushing me off the cliff and pushing me to stop overthinking and just do it. But I do believe that even when times are bad, I believe that stories that inspire, enlighten, or even just amuse can only help lift our spirits, which we all badly need. It's my hope that through these little chats, you too will all get to be moved and touched by the stories of all the remarkable people that have inspired me in my life. So I am so thrilled to introduce my guests today, two people that have inspired me so much, not just with their style and their looks, but their courage, daring, drive, and determination. They're the toast of the fashion industry because they've been carrying the Filipino flag with pride and flair on the runways of New York and Milan in the last year or so. They've had all of us rooting for them with their Instagram posts chronicling their every little struggle and stride towards success. Seeing them bloom and grow has been so amazing. It has brought back memories of my own experience many years back. And they constantly remind me that I too was once daring. I dared to look different from everybody else. I dared to transplant myself on foreign soil where I didn't know a soul, and I dared to reach for my dreams. So I'm sure their stories will inspire all of you as well to strive through your own struggles and reach for your dreams, even as we face the most challenging times. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Jullian, Culas, and Hannah Locsin. Yay!
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying yes.
Okay, nakaiyak yung intro, Miss.
It's true, I meant every word.
Of course, thank you. We feel that.
Start out and, when I gave my talk in PMAP, I don't know, were you there, Hannah? I remember.
She wasn't.
Jules was there, but Hannah was 8th sexiest. I remember.
Yeah. Like
sexiest.
Yeah, right. Like a few months, or probably a year after joining BFFs.
Before she knew she was sexy, we found her one of the 8 sexiest models of cosplay. Yeah. So my first.
But you know what's weird? What's weird about you giving this intro is that, we know that you've experienced it, so it means so much more.
It really
you're not just anyone who's not, you actually know how it feels. So it makes this, it makes me so emotional.
Which is why I wanted to have the two of you together, because we have a lot to talk about. So my first question is, kumusta naman ang lockdown bangs?
Oh my God. I don't wanna touch it anymore, because if I touch it, it might just like separate. And I can still see.
You can still see.
Yeah.
There.
We still see you, Hannah. I hope you still see us.
Because you only have two choices: grow them out or cut them yourself. Have you been tempted to cut them yourself?
I've been so tempted. Like even my family, they're like, "Let's cut your bangs." And I'm like, "Don't you dare touch."
But then I heard you need hair scissors for that, and not paper scissors. So I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, and hers is so tricky because it's so symmetric. It has to be perfect.
If my hair didn't have this certain shape, I might have done it.
Yeah.
But
like if your hair was like this, like it's just layers and curly stuff,
exactly.
So it's easier.
Exactly. Yeah,
And for you, Jules, hindi masyadong halata kung hindi pantay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I guess bangs should be the least of our problems. Although getting a good haircut, I think, is a form of self-care, which we all need. I mean, the less we look like cavemen, I think the better we'll feel inside.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Like 2 weeks ago, I decided not to shave for a month. So I literally look like a caveman. A gay caveman.
Did you shave just this morning or something?
Yeah, this morning. I shaved this morning. Actually. But
New
like,
look
it was...
din yun, di ba? New look din yun.
Oh my, I felt pressure now.
How about you, Hannah? Did you shave your beard this morning?
well.
5 o'clock. So how else have you been caring for yourselves during lockdown? I mean, Hannah, I remember that you were still in Italy when the whole thing exploded in Italy, and we were so worried about you.
Yeah, thank you for the messages. Both of you guys were actually messaging me at the time, and like even until a few weeks after I left Italy. But yeah, I left just a few days before they locked down, and even during the fashion week, that was we heard about the virus, we heard about the news, but I feel like because there were so many things going on, parang hindi namin masyadong naisip, which was kind of bad in a way.
So walang social distancing, walang...
Yeah, honestly, hindi pa kasi masyadong uso yung social distancing.
Tsaka nag-make up, diba?
Yeah, exactly. Yun na nga, like, exactly, like no social
Yeah, I feel like that time they haven't figured out yet what I'd like to do. It was so fresh.
Yeah.
Right. And but you were able to get out in time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How were you?
Sorry.
Was it hard to do that?
No naman. Kasi like, after Fashion Week, I mean in Italy, I was really supposed to go to Paris right away. So I was just there for less than a week, I think, in Italy. And then I moved to Paris na. So, ayun. Like, it was smooth naman. Like, there was no issues yet of like, you know, like transportation or whatever. So, all clear.
How about you, Jules? I remember the last time I saw you was your Boodle birthday dinner.
Oh my God, Mayor's like, Hannah missed that for sure.
I think that was the last time I went out actually, and then when I posted, people were saying, "Oh my God, wala pang social distancing dyan. You're sharing the food pa."
No, but that time kasi wala pa din eh. We were hearing of a lockdown, like, diba, supposedly, right? But you know what? That's so funny because my friends, like a number of my friends, actually thanked me for that dinner because that was the last time we went out, and it was memorable. You know, like I couldn't post about it na kasi like days after, like that was so insensitive for me. You know, I'm gonna do it when it gets lit because we gotta share the memories. You know. Hello?
Hello? Yun, nagkaroon ng delay.
Is my internet okay? Hello?
Oh, it's slow.
Hello?
And you're not moving.
Yes.
Hello, Jules.
I'm not moving right now.
Oh, there. Okay na.
Oh my God, this is so weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, now. But
on my screen, you're
frozen. Third world chat.
Parang you guys are like lagging or something.
Ayan.
I know. Okay, I was saying.
Can you repeat? Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay na ba?
I think so.
Okay. What was the last thing I said? I'm so sorry.
Boodle, people thank you.
Yeah, my friends were thanking me because it was the last time that they actually, went out, and it was a good meal. Like Mears, you know
But
that. It was a good meal. So it was very memorable. I couldn't really share about it anymore like days after kasi nag-lockdown na tayo and I didn't want to be insensitive, insensitive. But gonna share it after everything gets lifted. So, because it's worth sharing. And I'm probably gonna eat the same food again. I just miss it.
so
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
else? Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
How else are you coping? I saw that Hannah baked a chocolate cake from scratch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I've never cooked and baked this much ever.
How did you
Like
even know how to do that?
I was like, well, honestly, I've been doing like a project every weekend.
Oh,
So last weekend was the cake because it was my brother's birthday. So I had like a week to prepare, like, because I was thinking, okay, I don't want to buy so many ingredients. I'll work with what I have at home. And then, so, ayun, like, I was researching for so long, like, yung ibang recipes kasi like I would have so many ingredients na kulang. And then so yeah, as in honestly, it was really trial and error. And medyo in my head I was like I should have done this 2 days before because in case it fails, at least I would have an extra day to order a birthday cake. So
Aww. For your
yeah,
brother, right?
it was actually a birthday cake. Wow.
birthday cake.
So
But
awesome.
Hannah, it looked really yummy, in fairness to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to brag, but it was really good. Like I was so
You
impressed.
better bake us one after this thing.
Yeah, of course, of
I
course.
think there's actually like a trend. Everybody's baking.
Yes.
If you notice, maybe
I'm just
baking brings back childhood memories kasi when times were simpler and when we baked the cake, we were all happy, right?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Ako naman, I'm just baking because I really have a horrible sweet tooth. So.
Yeah, Hannah. Sorry, yeah, Hannah.
Mm-mm. Everyone who knows me knows that talaga. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, she loves
it
sweet.
doesn't show. How do you, how does having a sweet tooth
That's why it has to be once a week lang. Kailangan, I have to space it out. So, yeah. After this Zoom call, I'm gonna get on another Zoom call for a workout naman.
Oh my gosh. So,
Yeah.
Jules, I saw your post where you're holding a sack of rice and you said, no coronavirus, not my rice. Can you hear me?
Hello? Sorry, what did you say?
I saying I saw your post where you're holding a sack of rice and then you said, no, Corona,
yeah.
not my rice. Kumusta
That
naman
was the first.
rice
That was the
supply?
first week of quarantine,
It's 3:30.
and I was like, I had to like restock, of course, and prepare for it. So, girl, I'm not gonna, forget my rice. My rice is my life.
Wala na wala.
So much. I love rice so much. So I not. This corona will not, ruin that for me. I'm still gonna have my rice. What?
You have to say that from the top. You were choppy like
Yeah.
almost time.
You couldn't hear anything.
Hold on.
Yan, no, naghihiwalay na.
Can you hear me?
There.
I
Yeah.
was saying,
May
yeah,
lag-
that was the first week of quarantine, and of course we all had to stock up, like, just like everyone else. Like, everyone went to the supermarket and stuff like that. We had to line up for like. Actually, that was just the first week, and the lines were already long, huh? Well, it could have been because it was just fresh. So of course I couldn't like not buy my rice because I love rice so much. I mean, that's my life. If Hannah loves like sweets and chocolate, rice.
Oo.
So where does it go? How can you eat chocolate and rice and look like that?
You know,
For me, I
banks,
sacrifice the
banks.
rest.
It goes to the banks.
Yeah, it goes to the banks.
Or maybe would you say you just eat a little bit? But I've seen Jules eat. He doesn't eat a little bit. Metabolism lang.
Exactly.
Yes, eat all you can while you can.
Si Jules, hindi yan
Probably
talaga.
lucky that our what do you call this? Our metabolism.
Don't do it, please.
Sorry?
Anyway, can you hear me?
Jules.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you hear
Okay.
us? Okay. So actually, so 1 week ka pa lang in Milan and then you had to fly home, Hannah?
From Milan, I went kasi to Paris.
Oh.
And then from Paris, I stayed siguro, I don't know, roughly 3 more weeks. 3-4
Okay.
weeks.
Okay.
And then I decided to come home.
Yeah.
So, let's spend time now with the family. Kasi everyone was back home na. Because, well, my brother, he works abroad also. And then he was really scheduled to come home at this time. So, that's when I decided to come home na lang rin.
So I guess everybody's plans have been put on hold. And that's why
For sure.
people are kind of depressed because our normal lives as we once knew it kind of stopped. So I know everyone is not happy about it, but how are you coping with that? Like, how are you coping with like suddenly, yeah, you don't have to shave, but then all your plans, di ba? Parang somebody was joking na, ba't bumili pa tayo ng planner for 2020?
I know, right? I mean, Mir's like, it's crazy because I just turned 27. As we
Yes,
talked
yes.
earlier. Yeah, I just, it's my 27th year in this world. And suddenly, poop, the year just stopped. So I'm like, there goes my 27. But, I feel like I'm starting to realize that, we're against time here. And it's something that's out of our control.
Correct.
So I feel like more than like, being stuck in, not being stuck in, I don't know, despair or something like that. Like, I feel like the best way to do it is just accept first that, like we are in this moment and we just have to make the most out of it and just literally first as accepting it. Like, something, our plans couldn't be, our plans couldn't happen like at this time and we just have to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, ako naman, in dealing with all this and like, putting my life sort of on hold, it's like, for me, I like being productive. So, I try to find ways na lang here at home na parang to keep my mind occupied. Kasi, if I'm not doing anything, that's when I start to like snack a lot and whatever. So, parang, yun nga, that's why I need little weekly projects to like keep me motivated. And that's what I would also, recommend for other people. It's like, you have to find something to motivate you.
Right now I'm also doing an online class. I'm taking this online class. Yeah, like social media, like digital marketing, just to like, add up to my knowledge and stuff like that. So that's what has been keeping me busy, just like Hannah.
So when
at least,
go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. Like at least, there's something that you're occupied. At least, you feel, I've been seeing a lot online na parang, quarantine is not a productivity, competition.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just so productive and sometimes it
Right.
bothers you and makes you insecure kasi I know it's for your mental health, then iniisip mo parang shit, wala akong ginagawa. But, like as simple as, probably baking or as simple as working out, like, thrice a week, for example, is already,
Yeah.
it's being productive.
Yeah.
But sometimes parang everyone has a workout video.
Yeah.
And everyone I don't know, everyone has a talk show, including me.
Yeah.
Sometimes the more you compare, the more anxious you feel. Like, am I the only one lying on the couch all day long watching Money Heist? Or
Well, kasi I feel like it's really different for everyone.
Yeah.
Kasi yun nga, it's such a difficult time na parang we all cope in different ways. Like what I think na you really don't have to be productive. Kasi like for me, I need to be productive kasi that's how I personally cope with this time.
Yeah.
And for someone else who might like who might be dealing with this in a different way, diba? Parang it's okay for you to just like like lie down or just binge watch something if that's what you feel like doing, and like it's really no judgment talaga,
Yeah, of
especially
course. Definitely.
and then when you go on social media and read about what's happening out there, like our frontliners and
mm,
really depressing stories. How do you cope with that, and how do you manage to rise above it, or you know just manage?
yeah, well, ako naman for me, especially when it comes to seeing the news about our frontliners and stuff, it's like it's parang for me it's like I just wish that I had the chat, like I yun nga, like for me parang I like being productive, so I it's not like I can be on the front line with them also. It's what I can do na lang is like support them in my own way, na parang yun nga, like supporting causes. Like for PMAP, we even have a fundraiser also
Yeah.
in in providing PPEs and masks and whatever they need.
Yeah.
So, yun lang, na parang whatever you can do, even if it was just a prayer, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Uh as like for me, for example, like aside from like supporting these causes, like donations or like small amounts, whatnot, like I think the best thing I could do or I am doing right now is just just praying for them and keeping them in my thoughts. Because actually, one of my siblings, my brother, is a frontliner in the states. He works as a nurse in the states. Like he's actually in the ER, so he's literally a frontliner. And just the other day, like photo of uh he sent a photo to our family group, like this photo of their hospital. Like they already have a freezer truck outside their ER. Like,
Oh my
it's
goodness.
very crazy. Like yeah, like it's that bad. So para alam mo yon, like you just can't help but also think of their patients and not just them. Like everyone in general. Like just keeping them in their prayers. It makes us sad, but oh gosh, like alam mo yon, I
Yeah.
feel like another thing that another way for me to cope is probably just be very sensitive, like in social media, for example. Just be very sound and sensitive in terms of what you're saying, what you want to express, or things like what you share online or something like that. I feel like that's just how it is.
How do you manage the loneliness? Like, Jules, are you locked down alone, or are staying with other people?
Oh yeah, I'm staying with a friend because I live at their house here.
Okay.
So I'm okay. Like at least I see a friend, and his family, so it's cool. Because I'm here in Manila, my family is in the province, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean I'm okay. I'm cool. I'm well taken care of. So I'm happy. I'm happy.
And for
I'm
you, Hannah, when you arrived, you were in isolation for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
What
kasi
was that like?
honestly, that's also um it was kind of one of the reasons why I didn't really want to go home. It was because
You had
um
to do that.
yeah, kasi because of all the high activity that I was doing, um uh and all the people who I was interacting with, like I was scared nga na baka I was a carrier. parang like in my house, like we're all healthy here, but like my mom, she has diabetes and whatever. So that was kind of what held me back. But then, my parents were like, sige, just come home. We'll deal with this together and we'll take the precautionary measures na. And then so, yun talaga, I was like, as much as it kind of was hard on, like being confined talaga in my own space, like the food was just brought to me outside my door and whatever. Wala, like I just had to um again keep myself occupied, call people or whatever. So ayun, 2 weeks din yun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be grateful for technology because, at least
Yeah, right?
you FaceTime. Oh my God, ibang level yon.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine kung wala. Actually, I
Yeah.
recall that my modeling years abroad, even if they were some of the most exciting times, I also recall them to be some of the loneliest times ever. Even if I lived in houses or models apartments where I had many roommates, somehow being abroad on your own and carving a life of your own in a strange land is a very lonely experience. I remember I would go before the jobs come, like while you're waiting in between jobs, diba? I remember going to the mall with no money to spend because you're saving, right? And then just
Yeah.
crying because it can get so lonely. Did you go
Yeah.
through periods like this too? And if so, what did you learn about yourself that helped you learn to be comfortable with your own company?
Hannah, go.
Akala ko you were gonna go first. But
Yeah.
yeah, I did, especially coming nga the first time. It was difficult one because it was like gonna be my first time away from home for a really long time. And then it was also, like there was also a language barrier.
True.
So I noticed my mood did sort of like waver a lot kasi parang wala talaga akong makausap doon in a way. But
Yeah.
then, I found like my own niche. So like I found like a Filipino community, like my friends
Yeah.
who I really, stuck by with, and they were really like the people who I could lean on, like because they really can relate. We might not be in the same industry, but like living abroad, especially, like what's this? It's tough. It's I'd say it's like wala. You'd have to parang find your own way in like dealing with even like the small things na parang like let's say banking pa, like okay, for me I'd say na parang adulting was a bit trickier because of the language barrier, because of the all the rules that I wasn't aware of. So wala, you have to like work your way around it and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
How about for you, Jules?
I think in my case, well, first of all, like hearing what Hannah said, I'm lucky enough to have been to the States, like instead of somewhere else. At least English is a language, and everyone speaks English. But aside from that, like I'm also lucky that I already have friends in the States and also family. My brother's there, but in New York specifically, like Hey Juan is there, Monica is there, and Sam is there, and you know they're basically family. They're my family there, and it was uh, it was difficult in terms of getting situated and settling down, settling in. But parang aside from that, I feel like I'm a very friendly person. So I would really engage and like make friends and like it's easier to make friends there. I think and I feel like like in the modeling industry at least, like I feel like the female models are the girls are a bit more catty, or I don't know, like they're much more mataray. I feel like it's like girls among themselves based on how I see it
I
now.
think in
And
any industry.
baka. Pero alam mo yun, like in the modeling industry, like for example castings, like it would be more difficult to make friends with girls than guys, because in the States, like I have so many guy friends. But and ako kasi as a guy, making friends with girls it's easier. Pero napapansin ko like girls, like two girls like making friends. Napapansin ko parang grabe, parang meron parang alam mo yun, may tension usually. They're so competitive. I don't know why. Like, why just make friends like, the model beside you or something. So parang ganon. But in a way, like I'm cool because I'm such a chill person. If I don't make friends, or if you don't make me friends, then it's fine. But I'm good because I have my friends there, and I'm so lucky to have them. I'm blessed to have them. But of course, I still networked out of that group, and it's cool.
And I can imagine how competitive it was. I mean, I modeled in Singapore, Hong Kong, Asia, diba? And I was told two models can never be friends because it's competition. And I'm sure the competition in where you modeled was even greater. How did you survive that? How did you survive such a dog eat dog world?
I feel like for me, it's like we all know that especially if you're in the fashion capitals, na competition will really be tougher. More models will be there. So you can't take everything so personally.
True.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah, it's
But
like the best of the worlds are there.
The world.
yeah. So if you're not booked for a certain job, it's like you can't um be like, oh, what was wrong with me or whatever, because sometimes they're really very particular. Baka they just don't see you in their collection or see you in their in their lineup, ganon. So yun nga, it's easier said than done. It's tough. Like I get rejected.
A lot. Oh my God.
It's like you can be rejected 20 times. It's
Ibang
not,
level.
not a
Yeah,
joke.
ibang level.
So you have to develop that thick skin talaga.
What was
Yeah,
the kind of sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just adding on to what Hannah said, like it's true, like you can't take it personally because it's really the look. They're looking for a specific look, like, and it's not your fault because that's how you look. Come on, But like the good thing there is that sometimes, like, if you get rejected somewhere, like, kasi casting directors are a thing there. It's very important. Casting directors are very important. Casting agencies, not like here na medyo direct kang kino-contact, alam mo yun.
Yeah.
But there, like, they can, you can go to a casting and not be casted for that specific show, but the casting directors take note of you and then put you in another show, for example, or another job. Parang that's why, even though it's kind of discouraging sometimes to go out. I don't know, Hannah, if you felt that way before, but like another day of casting, another day of rejections,
Exactly.
Parang sometimes parang lalabas pa ba ako? And sometimes they send you brands that you research. You research it before a casting. I mean, at least that's how I do it. And then, tingnan muna ko na aesthetic, and then isa-study mo na sila so that pagdating mo, parang prepared ka sa anong vibe mo. Kasi alam mong hindi match sa personality.
Alam mo,
parang kahan ko pa ba to? Or alam mo yun, because you expect the time to be so long.
Naranasan ko rin yun na parang like, you look at their Instagram, and then you're like, I feel like I would be like sticking out and not in a good way.
Good way.
Oh my God. I remember during my time while modeling here, because I had really short hair, I had an androgynous look
that was
decades ago, right? So my hair was like this short lang. And then every time may fashion show na Filipiniana, patay. Tsugin na ako dun automatically.
Sure ba? Ganun ba?
Kasi hindi mapupusod. Tsaka masyado akong mukhang alien for a terno. Back then, which is why I also decided to model abroad. So my question for you is, you both have very, very unconventional looks. Even just here in Manila, which is like a small pond, more so even abroad, you're still considered unconventional. What kind of courage does it take to carry off such an unconventional look? And how does one learn to embrace it and even flaunt the way you look that's different from everybody else?
Can I go first?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like for me the first thing that I was how I did it was probably just accepting myself in general, like getting to know yourself even more and accepting it eventually, because not just like the good parts of yourself, even the flaws. Like, my god, the flaws are very important, because how you look like right now, if you feel like you're beautiful, it's easier to accept because it's beauty, it's something good. Pero if you start looking at your flaws, like what I have wrong, or like ganito, like yung mga problema mo personally and physically, that's the challenge, because it's difficult, but it will take time. But then once you come to accept and embrace it, that's where you gain this level of confidence na, alam mo yon, carry mo na, carry lang. I don't care if I have this, or I don't care if ganito ako, but it's fine, it's cool. I feel like out there, and like in a global setting, for example, it's more challenging in a sense na you are not the only unique person there. You're not the only unique look. Like, you go out, for example, New York, for example, parang, gosh, dito sa Pilipinas, ito yung itsura ko. Like, I am this, like, mysterious androgynous person, and you go to New York, there are hundreds of you guys owning their shit, like, oh my god, it inspires you. It inspired me a lot, seeing these people and how they have owned it. But coming from the Philippines, it's very conservative, and going there and trying to like
stand out even more.
Yeah, and more than that, just trying to adjust and reach that certain level of confidence na meron na sila. Alam mo, it's difficult. It was difficult. I was like, these kids are just wearing all sorts of stuff in castings, and they don't freaking care. And they get booked because, they're cool, and, they own it. Kasi parang, is this okay? Do I look okay? Is it too much? Alam mo yan, like, it was difficult. It was so difficult. But, it's more of just owning it. It's really just
So where did you get it? Like, where in the deep recesses of your soul did you make Hugot this confidence? And like,
I feel like it's really accepting yourself. I feel like most importantly is, accepting your identity, like me being gay, like accepting myself for who I am. That's it. Like, if I haven't accepted myself, I wouldn't be here. Like, period. Yeah, I feel like it comes from there. Getting to know yourself and accepting yourself first, and then that's where the confidence kicks in.
Yeah, parang on top of what Jules said, parang you can instantly tell when this person, kasi parang there's always this vibe when a person, accepts or knows who he or she is. And then, so let's say, kasi in terms of, in my case naman, parang what happened was, like, my look was changed.
yes. Yes.
So parang it took some time na parang na for me to accept my look also, na parang, like, cause I had from long hair, I cut it shorter until umabot na sa ganito. But yeah, so it took a while for me to accept the haircut. Kasi I mean, I didn't cut my hair immediately. It took me a couple of months, and then I just like, okay, I'm ready to try something new. And ayun, yun.
It's hard to
I
adjust.
Sorry. Well, in terms of adjusting, yeah. Kasi, like, this is a completely different hairstyle than what I had. It was like, my hair before was like wash and wear. And then, so now, I had to relearn how to style my hair. Or like, parang kailangan din yung how I dress. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
you have to change your wardrobe and look a certain
yeah.
way.
Yeah. Well, I think so naman. Like, it's just like, you know, finding something that you like that will match the haircut and whatever. It was like a learning process naman.
I think on top of that too, in order to achieve a certain level of confidence, one important factor is authenticity. Like
Mm-hmm.
just being true to yourself. Like you can't be fake. If this is you, if they give you a certain look, for example, um, of course it's your job to accept it, but you also have to find it in you to be that person or to be this look, for example, because these people out there, for example, in the States or in Europe, probably like they smell bullshit, like they smell BS. I don't know, Hannah, if you've noticed that, but they know if someone's faking it. They just know, you know. And
Yeah.
and most likely, if you're this pretentious bitch, sorry, sorry ng language. If you're this pretentious person, like walking in a casting, for example, or in any room in any room, for example, like people would know because it exudes that you're trying hard or you're just faking it. So authenticity is is very important. The way you dress, the way you look, it has to be you. It just has to be you.
What's an example of faking it? Like when you say they can tell if you're faking it.
If you're a sneakers guy kind of person and then you go in you attend an event and you wear, I don't know, boots. Hindi naman, I mean, sorry. That's a bad example because you really have to, dress the event. But like, do you get me? Like, if you try to be something else but you're not, alam mo yun, if you try to wear something and you're not comfortable in it, why wear it? Why try to wear one?
Or like, let's say you're this parang grunge type of person. And then you go to this casting that is literally, it's commercial, it's e-com, na parang for teens, let's say. Something that's completely opposite your personality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like I've done that a couple of times. Because I'm not commercial. Like I'm not commercial, but I'm surprised why they would still send me to these.
It's 4:00.
To these, sorry. I'm not commercial, but I'm surprised why they would still send me to these kinds of casting. That means the client would want to see me. Ganun talaga yun. Because you're shortlisted na eh. But if they want to see you, they have to see you and not you as a commercial person. That's what I've learned too. Kasi parang it just shows that you're not comfortable at all. Ganon. Based on experience, natawa ko.
But in a small market like Manila, you have to be able to do everything, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm so grateful for everyone who's believed in me and who's, wanted to work with me here. But yeah, I mean, there are some jobs or like probably some markets here na hindi ko rin talaga na-infiltrate na maximize. Kasi because of my look and I
First time.
accept it because it's really how the market here and what they want that day. So it was.
Frozen.
Freeze ka.
Oops.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
What do you say?
Back. Back. Hi.
Hello.
Am I back? I'm back, right?
What? Oh, there.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
can hear you guys.
Can you
Same,
hear
same.
us?
What was I saying? What was the last time I was saying?
Hala, di ko na malala.
Rewind. Maybe your look here in the
Ah,
Philippines?
yeah, in Manila.
Oh yeah. As I was saying, parang it's. I mean, I admit that I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for the people who have worked with me here and who still believe in me and work with me here, at least like in the present. But I admit that kahit ako mismo, like I haven't really gone the commercial side of Manila. Kasi it's my look and I have to accept that and that's the market here. So it's not my fault. It's just how I look and that's what what the market wants. So parang alam mo yun, okay lang. Okay, that's fine. You have to accept that too.
Yeah. Kasi you can't nga change who you are for some for like let's say a brand or a market kasi parang mahirap eh,
Mhm.
like if they don't they don't like your look, you can't force the
Yeah,
look.
that's really how it is.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder why oftentimes it takes international success before you become a local success? Whether in indie movies, diba? Usually
Yeah,
indie
we
movies
have this.
make it
We have
abroad
this.
before it makes it here, or even people like Rachel Ango
Yeah,
had to make it in the West End before she became successful here. What do you have to say about that?
we have this mentality na sisikat muna sa labas bago dito. And I don't understand that. It's just I feel like any industry, whether it's fashion or showbiz or whatnot,
True.
I feel like there's really politics involved. Like wala na. I mean, ganun talaga. It's really how I feel like the industries are, and we have this I don't know this mentality na we start to appreciate the talent when it's appreciated abroad first, parang ganon. Although that's not always the case, ha.
That's
Kasi
true.
some of, for example, when I was starting, like some of the people here, you Mirrors yourself, like you believed in me. Like there are a lot of like a number of people like you who saw me, who saw the potential, But alam mo yon, it's really a matter of me, like how I execute it and when I will act. Pero gets like there are a lot of people who also see that in you or see the potential, but in general, ganun talaga. Meron talagang may mga gatekeepers. Yuck! I don't know if you can think.
First talaga.
Yeah. Well, I agreed in what Jules was saying na parang like well in let's if we're talking about it, my case, parang there were people who also helped me get to where I was or let's say or where I am. Na parang there were people who pushed me na parang oh you can do this, you can do that. Like oh I see you walking
Yeah,
for brand or whatever. So that that even if it's like a few simple words, like it kind of it's still kind of inspiring and it's helpful talaga. Like
yeah,
especially if you're feeling down or like yun nga parang you're competing with so many people, but then there's still people back home who are cheering you on, and that's the one that's like really so heartwarming. I'm
yeah.
not
True.
kidding. Like
I
it's overwhelming.
hmm.
It's crazy.
I think like going back to Mirza's question, parang problem for me, like my thoughts on things like that, like making it out there first versus before being appreciated here. I feel like you just have to do your thing. Period. Like whether or not you get recognized,
Yeah.
it's wala na wala ka nang pakialam sa if ever someone recognizes your work. You just have to do your thing. You just have to work hard and just do your thing. You don't look at the reward. I mean, of course you look at the reward, but you get me, that's not your motivation. That's not supposed to be your motivation. You
Yeah.
just do your thing and it happens. If it doesn't, hindi ka disappointed. And if it happens, then happy ka. Parang ganun.
Parang let your passion drive you.
Yes, yes.
Kung mali yung motivation mo, like let's say, oh, I want success,
Yeah,
and you're not passionate about the way you're gonna get success,
yeah.
you're gonna have a hard time. Like you're
Super.
not gonna stick it out, and
Yeah,
that's what's hard. Like it can take you a few weeks, a few months
yeah.
to get that success, but it can also take you years.
Yeah.
Or it might not. You might not.
And also, parang, it's so, that statement, like what Hannah and I said, parang, it's tricky kasi it's not easy. Like, just doing your own thing and not thinking of, recognition or whatnot, it's difficult. It takes time to actually accept it and getting to that kind of or level of maturity. Now you just do your thing and not mind or listen to whatever um people say. Kasi we are so conscious eh. Ako personally, before, yun din iniisip ko eh. But when I started to like, just, like, fuck it. Like, that fuck it mentality, like, okay lang. Like, I don't care. Like, let me just do my thing. That's when you realize na, okay, so this is how it works. Like, you should be, listen. Sorry, ang daming bleep. But you get me, like, that, and it boils down to how much or how good you are at your craft or what you're doing. Parang ganun. Kasi tanggalin mo lahat, ano ba talaga yung magagawa mo? That's basically it. And it all boils down to that eh. Like, if you don't have these achievements or recognition or whatnot, can you actually do it? And once you answer that question, that's where you can say na, I can actually do it and I don't care. You know?
Yeah.
Naks. I remember telling you, Jules, hindi mo kailangan ng portfolio, hindi mo kailangan yung...
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good kwento. Like, that's a good kwento. That's a really good kwento. I should share that here. That was, I don't know, three years ago, probably. It was an
SM show.
SM show. That was an SM show. I was there supporting my girls, Jacques and Lou. They were doing the show, so I attended. And my hair was so long then, to be honest. Maba ba yung buhok ko nun? Or
I have
ganito
a
na?
picture, yeah. It was long.
I
Okay.
think I know which show this was.
This was
the department
somewhere.
store.
Yeah, department store somewhere. Were you there?
SM
Hannah?
Aura. Tama?
No. This was SM Makati.
Makati.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant Makati. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you there? Did you walk?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the three of you pala. Oh yeah, you were there. I remember
Yeah.
you were there. I remember you were there. So I was supporting them, the three girls, and late si Miss Mirza. Late siya dumating. So naabutan ako, baka late din ako. So nakatayo lang kasi ako. So nagtabi kami, like you approached me and we watched the show together standing up, and then you asked me, Miss Mirza asked me, sabi niya, Jules, so when are you going to New York? And that time, New York was never in my, mind. Like, I never thought of New York. I honestly never wanted to be in New York that time. Kasi yung target ng Europe talaga. Sa feeling ko, Europe yung look ko. Miss Mirza, like, I was surprised. Like, I wasn't thinking of New York. So I was like, I don't know, Miss Mirza. Like, I don't know if I'm going to New York at all. Kasi sabi niya, you should, like, you just try it out there, blah, blah, blah. Kasi sabi ko, I don't know, I have to, I feel like I have to build my book pa. You have all these reasons and all that. Like, kasi sabi ni Miss Mirza, this talaga really stuck through and inspired me. Sabi niya na parang, sometimes, Jules, it's not about preparation, it's all about action. And I was like,
Sabi ko ba talaga yan?
Sabi mo yan.
Wow.
Sabi mo talaga, it's not about preparation, it's about action. And I was like, shit, that's so true. Like, you can have all these reasons not to do something, but you have no reason not to do it. Period. Because you can actually do it. And look where we are. It's funny. That was just so inspiring to me. And like probably months after,
And
We
then
made
you
it out
went
there.
to Chicago to visit your relatives. And then
Yeah,
I
I was just there
messaged you.
to
I
visit
said,
my.
you are just 1 hour away by plane from New
That
York.
is true.
What are
That is
you
true.
waiting for?
Ayun nga eh. Totoo yun. So I met the girls, sinahay naman. So, wala, the rest is history. Yeah.
Hannah, can you expound on when you say if you don't have the passion to stick it out, you're not gonna, you know.
Yeah. Well, kasi let's say, I mean, in my journey, um, what 2020 na ngayon. So, late 2018 was when I first went to Paris. But prior to that, I was preparing myself and going to New York and, making it out there or trying to make it out there.
Yeah.
But, like with my problems with like visas and stuff, I decided, okay, maybe I can try Europe first. So, if you count all of those years, matagal talaga. So, parang you really have to be passionate for you to
Yeah.
stay that long,
Yeah.
you know.
It takes a lot. It takes
What
a lot.
kept you going? Kasi during my time, some models would go once to Milan and then have a hard time or not see any progress and then give up. But what people don't know is it takes many tries
Oh
sometimes
gosh.
to become an
Oh,
Ay, kaloka. That's so
yeah.
true.
Well, I think for me, I I knew that I wasn't done yet. Parang I didn't feel that fulfillment yet. Even until now. I mean, I've done a couple of things already, but I feel like, I mean, I'm still passionate and I still want to move forward.
Yeah.
Like, I can still achieve other things and discover more things about the industry, about myself. So I still want to, continue.
What do
True.
the prospects of the fashion world as we know it seem like? Like, are your agents telling you what's going to be the scenario, or do they have any idea at all about how things will change? Like, they're all talking about the new normal and how
Um,
people's shopping habits, for example, will change. What do you know so far, or how do you feel
well,
about the prospect?
I feel like because at this time, like, it's such a unpredictable, we're at an unpredictable state.
Definitely, yes.
So we can't really project that far into the future. Like even, like next week. Parang who knows what our government officials will change in the current rules. So what my agents were saying is like as of now, um just try to focus on staying healthy
Yeah.
and taking care of yourself. And then when everything is over, let's see what the new changes will be.
Yeah.
Let's see what will be what opportunities we can
Yeah.
present you to, and etc etc. So parang as of now they can't really tell me anything concrete, which I don't expect naman talaga.
Yeah. I feel like the fashion industry in general, at least modeling,
Yeah.
is very uncertain and unpredictable too. Like, just to give you an example, like this is a very basic example which I could like compare to what's happening now. For example, like in Fashion Week, you get casting calls or job confirmations like literally the night before the job or the casting. Like you have to stay up until 12 or 1. Kasi if you
Wow.
sleep at 10 p.m., you will miss the emails and you wake up late for something, for example. And it's that like unpredictable. Like even, I mean, comparing it now, like parang ganun din, na parang, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen next week, or we don't know how the industry is after the quarantine or after all this lockdown. So from there pa lang tayo, you know, move forward. It's just personally, like, I can't even plan whatever right now because I don't know first when this will end, and secondly what options are available, you know, after this. So that's I feel like that's how normally things go here in the industry, I feel like.
Yeah. Like, it's really, as in, you have to get used to, you know, sort of like being on call 24/7.
Yeah, yes.
It can happen.
Because I remember, Hannah, like, sorry, like, talagang ako nag-bring up, no, story mo eh. Para I remember, no, I feel like this is safe to share naman kasi tapos na to. Like, I remember when your agency asked for digitals for the first Gucci stint you did.
Yeah.
That was just snap, ha? And then Hannah was like, "Just I need to get digitals and do these look okay?" Alam mo yon, parang that's how quick it is and just unpredictable. Like one day your agency can call you and like, "Hey, someone's requesting you, like send this ASAP." And you can be, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" Blah, blah, blah.
You can literally be in the other side of the world, which was my case at the time.
Yeah, literally.
So parang you have to be ready, like no matter what.
I feel like the word there is, I don't know, being able to adapt or like easily.
Yeah. Agile. The word is agile.
Being agile for things like this.
Well, just to let you know, I've always considered modeling to be very good preparation for life. Like having rejection for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as we were used to, prepares you for life in the future. Like, again, easier said than done, but you do try to not take things personally when you're rejected. And this is a good thing to know when faced with the struggles of life. And also that agility, like, oh, ito requirement, kailangan ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Pwede ka ba? Minsan kahit hindi ka pwede, oh, kaya ko yan. Diba, mga na ganun. We need you to be 21 years old. I can do that. We need you to be 30 years old. I can do that.
Yeah.
So you really learn adaptability. And for your future careers, this will all come in handy. My next question is about the future. I know we can't really project too far into the future, but has it ever crossed your mind that, let's say, worst case scenario, wala nang modeling?
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought of what you could do or what you might be able to do just in case that happens? Like, I know Jules was, before Jules was a model, he was in marketing.
Yeah. Before, actually, I was still in marketing while I was already modeling.
Oh, okay.
I was juggling both for 3 years.
Okay.
And finally, I decided to go full time. You know, but I mean, I'd probably go back to that. And I'm actually still doing it because I'm handling a couple of social media accounts. So I do social media management, like during this time, for example, for some brands. And that's where my passion is too. Like I have a passion for marketing and PR and advertising. So I feel like it's cool. I feel like that industry will still be there. It's a matter of me, you know, using my experience and what I've learned in the fashion industry, at least, to like integrating it to how I can contribute to that industry again if ever I go back or be there full time. But yeah, I feel like it's either that or going corporate again, or you know, having your own business. I'd love to have a business someday.
Yeah. Actually, nag-ready na ako eh, diba? Like all my baking skills,
Yes.
cooking skills.
Yes.
But joking aside, like I feel like, I mean, I can't really predict what field I'm go into after modeling. I know 100% that I'm not gonna do it forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, I think naman parang maybe business or let's say like teaming up with friends or you know so we'll still see. Yeah.
Both Hannah and I graduated communications, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we have that background.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of background, can you give us a short history of how you became a model? Who were you before you were models, and how did it all happen?
Gusto ko yung natawa ako.
Di ba?
Ako, okay, so who goes first? Hannah, do you want to
Go
go?
ahead.
Um, Grabe, like I never wanted to be a model at all. Like I never imagined being a model or being in this industry at all. Like
Ever,
zero,
kahit
ever. Like I feel like my friends would like my barkada from college would they've seen me grow and I didn't look anything like this before and I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the style. I just developed them along the way. It was like probably it was my last year in college, my fourth year when I started. I was discovered online by, of course, I think I know you know these people. Of course, Melvin Mojica,
wow.
um,
Discovered
CJ
you
Cruz,
where?
designer CJ Cruz, and Karen Bolilla, the stylist and editor. On Instagram, like I barely had followers. Like probably had 200 followers then, and I would always say this, like, ako yung tipong nagla-like ng sarili kong post dati. So parang, galon, parang, they messaged me one time and they were like, hey, would you be keen enough to join us for a shoot? And then I was like, okay, who are these people? Kasi yung icon nila sa Instagram, talagang fashion, like, damit or like drawing. So hindi ko alam how they look like or what. And it was CJ Cruz and Karen and Mang Melvin. And I was like, okay, what's this for? Sabi nila, it's for an editorial for Philippine Star. And I was like, editorial. And I was like, and I was like, okay, so who is the photographer? Kasi sabi nila, oh, it's BJ Pascual. And that time, I never knew who BJ was, to be honest. So I was like, who is BJ Pascual? And I had this, ganun ako ka-naive, ganun ako kawalang idea ko what the fashion industry is. That was 2015, huh? And that time, I only had this one photographer friend who knew about the industry. It was Erwin Canlas who actually made it big already in the industry. Erwin Canlas. He was the one who was taking pictures of me before everything happened. Kasi parang, sabi lang niya parang, Jules, picturean kita. And I was like, okay, why? And I don't know, he just saw something in me too. So he started taking photos of me. And the photos turned out to be good. And that's what I've been posting online, on social media. And that's where, my discoverers, what they saw, those photos probably. And so, kasi si Erwin, sabi ko, Erwin, like, wala na, ayan na yon, sabi ng gano'n. Parang, hello? Did I lag or something?
Yeah, you did.
A little bit.
Did I lag or something?
Yeah. Maybe
Where did I stop?
Erwin.
Sorry.
Erwin.
Yeah,
Erwin.
so, yeah, my friend Erwin Canlas was a photographer. That time, he just used to like take photos of me randomly if he wanted to. I don't know why. He probably saw the potential in me too. But the photos turned out good. So, pinopost ko siya online. And that's probably what Mang Melvin, CJ, and Karen saw on my feed. Some of them. So, I messaged him. I was like, Erwin, who's this? Who is this DJ Pascal? I don't know him. And he was like, Jules. Like, oh my God. Like, why? And I'm like, I'm shooting with him next week. And he's like, wala na. Mga ganun.
Yun na yun.
And then I went to the shoot, not knowing anything. I mean, like, I didn't know anyone, but I was working with the best teams that time. Like, I think my hair then was si Mikey, Arcano. Like, alam mo yun, like the good ones who we have now. Like, I don't know if they were still starting back then. And I remember the first model who made friends with me was Sam Humphries. Like, Sam would really be memorable to me kasi siya yung nag-greet sa akin nung nasa door pa ako. Hey, how are you? I was like, dude, like, who are these people? Like, I don't know, you know. Anyway, I did the shoot and then it got published that week itself kasi Friday sila nag-release and everything happened. Like the next week, Garage Magazine contacted me and then these designers contacted me and such and that, blah, blah, blah. So that's how it started. And then that's where I realized na parang, okay, I probably have something here. This is worth looking at, you know, not just like business wise, but also the people, because I've experienced working with people who are really creative, who really speak their minds out, and very inspiring. Just very inspiring.
Your
That's
turn.
Yeah. Well, in my case naman, before modeling, I mean, I started modeling when I was still in college.
Okay.
So, parang at the time, I mean, I had that interest, but I didn't think na magiging career ko talaga siya. Kasi parang what I was doing at the time, parang I was doing like mga college fashion shows or mga shoots.
Taray.
And then, but at the same time, parang sinasabi ko lang sa parents ko na, oh, I'm just gonna do this thing for school. Mga ganun. Para mapayagan ako. So, that was the biggest hurdle. Parang getting my parents, well, mainly my dad, to let me, pursue modeling. And then, so they were like, okay, you can do whatever you want as long as your grades don't slip. And then, so sabi ko, okay, if that's the agreement, sige. And then after that, I just slowly started meeting more people in the industry, co-models who were also part-timing, and then photographers who, well, actually how I was quote-unquote discovered, parang in one school event, there was this one photographer who was like, oh, do you want to do this professionally? I can introduce you to the right people, or like we can do tests and stuff. So from there, I also met more people, and then in like mga open castings, like that's where I met like people from PMAP, and that's how I was actually started in PMAP. Like nakasama ko sila in a couple of fashion shows. That's parang they kept me in mind. Na parang maybe this girl would wanna join us in the
So they
future.
recruited you.
Yes, please.
When
I
did
would love
you decide to make it your career?
College pa rin. Kasi parang when I was like trying to juggle school and modeling, I was like, I feel like I want to pursue this. And then so what really sort of convinced me to try abroad was like when I first went to Malaysia. I went there with Jack. We were there for like a month.
It's 4:30.
Twice. Yeah, so we went there twice for about a month, and then that became like my practice, like my training ground. Like, oh, kaya ko ba to? Like, can I stand being away from family, trying to adjust to a different culture, a different language, a different market? So from there, I was like, I realized that I can, adapt and whatever, and that I felt like I became more passionate about it. So I was like, okay, so this was my first stepping stone onto the next. Ayun.
Once you took the plunge and went abroad to try your luck in like the biggest fashion capitals of the world, were you ever scared na shit, baka mangyari to, wala akong maiuwi or walang mangyari, or baka matawa lang yung mga tao, like ba't pa siya nagpunta doon, wala namang nangyari. Did you ever have that fear, and how did you overcome it?
There are a lot of fears with trying to model abroad, it's like, because our industry is so small, a lot of people will know that you
Yeah.
went abroad, and then so you feel like a lot of people, like, I don't know, personally, yeah, parang there was that added pressure na parang,
Yeah.
I have to prove myself.
To my country.
Exactly. You're representing, so
There's still a
you know,
pressure, of course.
yeah, so there's that added pressure. Um, but like, to get over that, it's just that you have to, focus on your goal, on trying to, you know, think about like yourself and pushing yourself. Again, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
I
But
think it boils. Sorry, finish, Hannah. Sorry.
yeah, it's just like you just have to learn, and it's not gonna be easy. I'm telling you, like, if you have that interest, like, for the viewers, like, if you have that interest, you have to know that this is what you're getting yourself into. Na parang, all these struggles, like the pressure from family, from, even if it was just from yourself, you adding this pressure that's not even present, like, you have to be strong to
Yep.
overcome all those.
I feel like adding up to that, parang all that what you said mirrors like yon yung mga issues like what people will say, may uwi ba ako or what, will this be successful, will I actually book something. I think these are all part of the risk that you're taking,
Yeah.
like modeling abroad, and it's a package deal, like kasama yun lahat, whether or not you make it out there, nandyan talaga siya. And I feel like it's a matter of taking that risk and accepting all that. It's just all about that, like parang it's part of the risk, it's part of the story, it's part of how you're gonna feel. Like you could not bring home money, you could not make it out there, you could not book shows, and it's fine. Like it's fine, because what matters is you took the risk, and actually more than anything else, experiencing that and overcoming and like owning that risk, is the best thing that could ever happen. Because I feel like that's the best achievement that you could, get from that experience. Because you really grow, like you really grow. It
Oo.
again, it goes back to what I said earlier na parang dun mo marirealize na wala ka nang pakialam sa sasabihin ng ibang tao. That's where you get it to, like accepting that risk and experiencing it. Kasi parang once you experience it, Mears, of course you have experienced this. You tend to realize na parang anong masasabi nila? Like what's their contribution to like my experiences? They haven't experienced it. So why can they say this? Why can say that? Why can they compare this? No, parang may isip mo na parang wala naman silang alam sa nangyayari sa akin. So I don't really care, Like tayo mas may alam tayo sa anong nangyayari. So that's it. Like
Only
it's
alam ko yan nung nandun ako. Kasi parang feeling ko, back then, iyak ako ng iyak. Kasi mahirap talaga. But like I messaged Hannah once, I think I said, enjoy every single moment. Take so many pictures. Because when you look back...
oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like that was just last season,
I know,
actually.
right? Last month, yeah.
Yeah.
So parang,
And then,
because these moments are so precious, and when you're older, decades later, you look at, like back then we had Polaroids, which I kept all the Polaroids. When you look back, ako yun, ako yun. Oh my God, galing ko pala nun.
Yeah, exactly. Kasi parang also going back to also what Jules said, na parang all these risks, kasi you have to, of course you have to weigh it. Parang but you have to also think na parang would you be okay parang living exactly Kasi that's also what pushes me when I'm trying new things. It's like, will I regret this in the future, or will I have this opportunity again? Like even like super small things, like parang, let's say, okay, top of mind, this is so random, but like last year, parang me and my roommate in Paris, we were just like chilling in the Eiffel Tower, and then there was this guy who was singing, and then he was like, "Oh, does anyone want to volunteer
Be
to
my girlfriend."
talk with
Sure.
Sana, diba? Sana. Pero hindi. Singer lang hinahanap niya.
Okay.
So,
Sayang.
so sabi ko, you know what? I'm not a good singer. But then, this is gonna be a learning experience for me. This, like,
God.
exactly. So, like, it's really about pushing yourself and, like, learning how to, like, live life and,
Just be in the moment. Just live the present.
exactly.
Like, what if you never cut your hair? What if you didn't say that?
Exactly. Because this is not the kind of hairstyle I would have ever imagined.
Right?
Yeah.
So, grabe, if I didn't cut my hair, ano na talaga what would have been my life?
Yeah.
What if you
It's all part of it.
kaya join lang ng join, di ba?
Yeah, exactly.
So when you talk about growth, what are the top 3 ways in which you've grown as a person from your modeling life thus far that you think have helped you evolve into becoming a better person than you were a few years back?
Okay, wait. Sige, I'll go first. I think one, I really like my sense of like again adapting. Like that has been a major improvement in my life. Like there are things that I can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Like
now.
especially in the industry, like a lot of the decisions are made for me.
True.
So parang it's just learning to accept all those. Oops. And then another thing is like pushing myself. There are things that I wouldn't have thought to do, or like places to go or try things like parang before talaga, can I just say, like I was really very shy. As in doing something like this, I wouldn't have done that before. I wouldn't have even doing runway. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That took a while for me to like, get used to. It was weird. I had this interest with fashion, but then I was shy. So yeah, exactly. So mga things like that. Another thing is I guess like really appreciating the whatever, like with the opportunities, the like life itself, or the people you're with. Kasi parang these chances can be like super fleeting and stuff. So you have to learn to live in that moment. Like I remember we talked about like taking pictures while doing these things.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I have to work on. Kasi parang for me, like I really live in that moment, and I don't get to document it sometimes. And I guess for me that's enough.
Yeah, that's actually better. We're just dependent on photos.
Exactly.
How about you, Jules?
I feel like some of the things that parang made me say that I've grown from this industry, or at least from my career, or some of the things that I've learned from my career is, I think one is, taking risks. Kagaya ng sabi kanina. Kasi parang it's so difficult to take risks nowadays. Ako personally, sigurista ako eh. I feel like my friends would know. I'm really a sigurista, and it's like, I would always, see the different angles.
Prepare. Kasi sigurista.
Yeah, exactly. parang, and I trust most of the people nowadays are like that, and that kind of lessens your actually, wanting to take risks. But what I can say is that, being sigurista and taking risk is, and still taking risks is really helpful in terms of um, letting yourself grow in, like putting yourself in different situations, and kailangan calculated risk pa rin. Dapat hindi pa rin tayo bobo about it. Like, it has to be a really good, you know that you will get something out of it. But it's a matter of, the risk that I'm talking about is, like life decisions, for example, alam mo yun, like what could make or break. Pero parang one thing I learned is that, taking risk is not actually that bad. Just try it, and just you'll always see something good in it.
Yeah.
More than the bad things, at least. Yeah, you could actually learn a lot from it. Another thing that, I learned from this is that I was able to probably hone my craft even more. Like, my skills in modeling, at least. It made me experience, for example, like just modeling abroad, it made me, it made me feel like I have, I've achieved something, at least. Like, I've done something in my career, not, at least personally lang. You learn a lot of things, like, just honing, like physically speaking, like honing your talent, like in terms of modeling, your skills, your editorial work, your runway, alam mo yun, like that's some things that I've learned, at least. And lastly would probably be building relationships.
True.
Like, that's one thing that I find very important in this experience, kasi you travel or you work with a lot of people, and it's just so difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to, find genuine people, but most of the times it's okay, actually. It's actually a good experience to meet people, and be friends with them, and sustain it, like beyond the studio. Alam mo yan, it's cool. So, like, right, like tayo, for example, ako ulit.
Teka.
Hello?
Repeat kasi.
Naghang ako ulit. Sorry.
Building relationships.
Hello?
Yes. Can you repeat?
Ano ulit?
Building relationships.
Sorry kasi I was going on and on. Tapos nakikita ko si Hannah, ganun lang. Akala ko nakikinig. Ako naman parang, wow, push na push. Tapos, hang na pala. Okay, sorry. Building relationships. Like I feel like that's one of the most important things that I've learned and gained from all this experience. Like meeting people you worked with, or just meeting inspiring people and working with them, and taking it beyond the studio, just sustaining it. Like I'm for sure, like hindi lang ako magsabi nito, for sure, like you, Mayers, and Hannah, like with all the people we've worked and met around the world, like, we're proud to say na, I can just call up someone from Finland right now who was my roommate. Like, I have like, if I go to London right now, my roommate was, my former roommate was there who could take care of me, like, it's such a good experience to have, and like a good connection or network of people to have. Like, it's cool. And, nurturing and developing those relationships could, last like a lifetime. They're gonna be there forever. So that's one thing that's very, valuable to me in this.
I definitely agree with that, because speaking from somebody who's been in the modeling afterlife, these connections and the networking, and exactly how you put it, just that ability to say, I can call this person in Finland. You apply that 1,000-fold to like your future career. And, sometimes people are amazed. Well, I can just call up so-and-so and interview him, but he's the CEO. I always tell like people I've worked with, alam mo, tao lang sila. Parang tayo, tao lang sila. And I think as models, we are exposed and thrust into a world of people from all walks of life, diba? Whether big shots or small shots. And we learn soon enough that you have to get over your shyness. And even if you're an introvert, you have to transcend it and just form a connection, form a bond. Because that was the name of the game, diba? You make a connection with someone. Malay mo for a show, diba? Malay mo, maisip ka na, diba? You have to make...
Well, especially that time years, kasi there was no social media.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
I feel like it was more challenging, I think.
Yeah. So it's really good training.
Yeah.
So, any advice about, as you two have proven, staying strong and staying optimistic about life will help you succeed? And I think these are very key traits for helping us really get through these very trying times. Any advice about all the people out there, your followers, about how to stick with it, stay strong and optimistic? Maybe you want to tell your followers.
For me, I think I hope it could help you guys. But then, what I do is like really I just try to look at the silver lining, and it's very important to focus on something after, kasi parang it motivates you. It kind of like parang it forces you to like, parang continue on with your daily life even if you're confined in a small space. It's like you try to distract yourself even if it's with small things, or like I don't know, parang what's important kasi is that you don't get stuck in this moment, in this very hard moment. So even if you're looking back, this is what I noticed, that a lot of people are doing a lot of throwbacks, like looking at their old memories. Kasi parang it keeps you hopeful for a time that will be better than the current one we have.
Yep. Okay. For me, like I think one thing I can say to everyone who's out there is, in times like this also, but I feel like in general, like para sa akin, like in like life tip lang, parang I feel like you just have to find purpose in what you're doing. I feel like purpose is very important kasi once you know what you're doing, what your motivations are, why you're doing this, why you're doing that, it will drive you, it will sustain you on that journey towards that goal. Like just find the purpose in what you're doing and conquer it. Kasi if you don't go back to your purpose, you don't go back to why you're doing this, you easily get lost.
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself here as well kasi parang alam mo yung I'm na parang
Note to self.
We're stuck. We can't do anything like right now. Literally, if I start, like literally right now, like if I'm planning for what's gonna happen to me in the next 3 months, mahirap kasi wala pa rin akong magagawa eh. Right now as we speak. So alam mo yon, I feel also like trusting the process is very important. Like finding, what do you call this? Like finding purpose in what you're doing, knowing the purpose, and trusting the process. Yeah. You will get there someday, and we all will. Because alam mo yun, like ako personally, I'm still working on my goals and my dreams. We're still getting there. We're still on the way. So. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Focus on conquering yourself.
Yes, the self is the hardest to conquer, and even if I am twice your age. I'm learning so much from the two of you again.
Thank
You're
you.
reminding me of what it was like to be more fearless and take more risks. And these are things that I can apply in my new life, in my new
But Mirs,
and thank you
one
for
thing
helping.
I just want to mention something. Like I remember you making kwento before about your, kayo nila apples, about you, like how you guys started and, how you guys have made it. And one thing I realized is that, there weren't a lot, or I don't even know if there was any, of people like you to us right now. You get me? Like you guys have paved the way for us to make it easier to where we are right now. I'm not kidding. Like I'm really grateful for that. You get me? Like you mentor me and I'm so grateful for that. Like I don't know if you guys had that before. You get me? Like did someone, kasi kayo yung nagsimula nun eh. Alam mo yun?
Meron
And
namang mga fairy godmother, pero it's before social media, so maybe not much communication then.
Exactly, yeah.
Not the degree na now we can do it every minute. Mag-post,
but like I am grateful for I personally am grateful for you guys for being there and just being at least being a good example to us because it inspires us. Like you got me like we would want to be a Mirza Season. We want to be an Apples Aberine. We want to be a Joey Mead after after all this stunt and being able to talk to you guys and being able to like reach out to you guys is such a blessing. So thank you.
For being our mentor.
Yeah, that's really valuable to us.
Thank you so much. What a great
discussion. You just didn't inspire. You just don't inspire us. Like you actually, help us be here. So
yes.
Oh, cry. Thank you so much for your time. I know marami pa kayong lulutuin at
kainin.
I really
thank you so much for having us. Thank you
also.
This was a really nice conversation. I love this.
I know.
Wait lang, Hannah. Can you like kay side view?
Me?
Okay.
Nakita ko yung si Hannah. Nakita ko yung ponytail niya.
Salamat. Yan na, ikakat na natin yun. Salamat.
Ano yung bangs? Yan siya kahaba.
Yun na siya kahaba? Oh my God. Miss, you look like Hannah. Wait, I'll take a photo lang para BTS.
So I thought of wearing my bangs this way, pero wala akong makita.
Oh my God. 1, 2. One more.
Gusto ko yung na-delay tuloy yung end ng bridge.
1, 2. Grabe.
Pwede rin screen cap.
Oo nga, no?
Para wala. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3. Okay,
where's Andre? Is Andre just listening to us?
He's working.
Okay.
He's kind of a frontliner because he's a food provider. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
As family and friends, gusto ko yung na-out of topic tuloy muna tayo.
Okay lang, tapos na daw.
Wait lang, i-cut muna. Let's end and then let's discuss.
Wait, we've ended properly no? Okay na ba?
Yeah. I mean, this is the fun part of it. I'm sure.
Oh, so we're okay. We're off the record.
Na-close na ba?
Sorry?
Na-close na ba? Hindi ko alam.
Ang alin?
Yung as in yung talk mismo.
Oh!
Okay. Miss Mears, go. Close it properly.
Rewind the closing properly.
Yeah. Close it properly.
Thank you again for such a great chat. I learned from it as much as people have learned from you. It's really amazing how even if I'm many years older than both of you, I've learned so much and I'm reminded of what I need to do in my new life as a retiree.
Thank you,
I have a lot of questions for you guys. Your turn to help.
when you actually have your own TV show already.
I hope so.
Please remember us, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Mears, i-add mo na lang yung yung mga sinabi namin kanina. Like,
Oo, edit na lang.
How are you gonna edit this? Okay, pwede na.
I don't
Ayun,
know.
ang gulo na siya. Ang gulo na.
So that's the real you.
Ayan.
Ayan, screen cap
Biglang-
with blue bangs.
Biglang on authenticity, tapos biglang gano'n.
Oo nga eh.
Wait.
Ayan, mga noo. Okay, bye!
Bye. Thank you, Mears.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.